is Friday, I think December 18th, yep, and I'm just now leaving BU's campus. I just went to the place where I always get my COVID tests. My first one came back negative, but I got a second one just to be super safe because I am leaving tomorrow, Saturday, to go see my sister in North Carolina. And I figured while I'm driving back home, now is the perfect time to give like a life update, because I feel like my Vlogmases have been very like, oh, I'm doing this, and then I'm doing this, and then later I'm planning to do that. Like, I'm just kind of talking about what I'm doing and then like showing it, but I haven't really talked much about how I've just been. I apologize if Vlogmas this year has been boring or if it seemed like I've been down in the dumps, because school has been really overwhelming to me recently, obviously because it was finals week, but I think it's that like I just haven't been doing super well, so I didn't want to vlog about like how I wasn't in a good headspace. So I hope this doesn't come off like I'm complaining. Like, it's part of why I didn't want to talk about it, because I don't want to seem like, oh, like my life sucks. I just like haven't been in a good headspace lately. And I can't even say that I've been super stressed. Like, I have been with school, obviously, but it feels like a lot of emotional things just compounded within a few days. Like, to start this week, I had finals, obviously, so preparing and studying for those just like had me under a lot of pressure, and I really wanted to do well and like finish out the semester strong. And I did. Like, I took my finals and they all went pretty well, so it's not like I was disappointed, but once finals were over, I didn't feel that release of stress. I was like, what's going on? Like, I should feel like relief and I should feel like calm and relaxed, or like I can celebrate finally, but that feeling just never came. And then once I finished school, I was like, oh, now I can like fully celebrate the holidays. But what comes now with the holidays is a lot of grief and difficult emotions for me ever since my mom passed away. But honestly, even before my mom passed away, Christmas especially is just like really hard for me. And like last Christmas was the first one without my mom, and I just remember being terrible to be around. I just felt like, I'm not good for anyone right now. And the third thing, which I haven't really talked about much out of respect and privacy for any like outside person involved, but in September I went through a breakup, and I never really talked about it because I knew that the person I was in a relationship with might watch my YouTube videos. And I've been reminded lately that part of the reason I started my YouTube channel was just as like an outlet for my creativity, but also my emotions, because I'm a verbal processor, so talking things out like really helps me. And it's just like been like a lot of self-discovery and grief, and that was all kind of like brought back up again recently. And so yeah, it's just been a really like high sadness and high frustration time, because I get in this headspace where I miss my mom and I don't feel like I can talk about anything with anyone, because no one ever seems to like give me what I need to hear or be there for me in the way that I need, but I can't ever seem to articulate what it is exactly that I need. So I just kind of like put myself into this, like, it's not like I'm trying to isolate myself, it feels like the best thing for me to do is be alone, but then I feel super isolated and a bit more sad, but I'm just like, but this might be best for me in the long run. I don't know if that's making sense. And if you have lost a parent, you probably know that the holidays are really freaking tough. And you know, I'm a year and a half out from losing my mom, and someone just reminded me that that's really not that long of a period of time. And that was really validating to hear, because I was like, oh, you're right. Like, it's not like I should be over it or that I'm ever going to be over it. I just don't want to be so angry and frustrated for the rest of my life. And all signs right now, like with me being done with school and me like processing a really long relationship and then kind of like meeting new people and exploring that, I'm just like, all signs point to me needing to be alone and just like focus on myself and try to surround myself with friends and family. But the pandemic makes everything like 9 times harder. I'm sure you can all relate just like in general aspects of life, but when dealing with any form of grief, it just makes everything like that much harder. So yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at, and I don't mean to dump. I hope this didn't like make anyone else sad or upset or come off like I'm ungrateful, because that's the last thing I want to be. I know there's so much to be grateful, especially with COVID around. Like, everyone I know and care about is safe and happy and healthy, so I truly have not much to be upset about. But you know, then on the flip side of that, of course, I am entitled to be sad this holiday season, because you know, that shit sucks. So anyway, that's what's going on today. Vlogmases, anything on social media really, it's just all such a highlight reel that isn't always super accurate or telling of how someone's actually doing. So, but yeah, that's what I had to say. Sorry if the camera's been shaky while I've been driving. I didn't notice that till like just now. It is Vlogmas day 19. It's Saturday, and I realized this Vlogmas is just going to be me in the car because I was driving around BU's campus yesterday on Friday, and now today I'm driving to North Carolina. So I've been up since 5, and I left my house at 5:50, and it's currently 10:30, and I still have another like 7 hours to go. So it doesn't look like I'll get there till 6 p.m. and it's definitely like a long day of driving, but I'm feeling pretty good. Right now I'm in Jersey, the dirty Jers, and my windshield is freaking filthy. I need to clean it so badly. I swear next time I get gas, I'm going to clean it, because if I tried to show you guys a time lapse or like anything pretty, it's just like incredibly blurry from all the snow. And I'm gonna stop somewhere to get lunch, either like in Maryland or Virginia, because that's looking like where I'll be within the next like 2-3 hours, and I'm kind of getting hungry. So I am really excited to go see my sister, and also just to have a week to kind of do nothing. I started to work on the podcast last night, and that was really fun. So I think I want to finish the first episode and maybe even start the second, just because I'm getting familiar with the software of like editing it and then exporting it. So we'll see what happens with that. But I'm very excited to be by the ocean and just kind of like relax a lot. I brought a couple books to read, so yeah, it should be a good time. And if I get my windshield cleaned, I'll show you guys what my view is here soon, or I'll give an update, I guess, when I'm getting close to Wilmington. Currently in Stafford, Virginia, where my friend Kaylin's from. I just texted her a picture and she's responding. I was like, I hate where you live, because I've been in terrible traffic for like 30 minutes and my leg is falling asleep. But I got lunch, and I don't know about you guys, but I like never eat fast food. Like, it's kind of only something I allow myself to do when I'm drunk, which isn't that often, or when I'm on road trips, just because it always sounds so good when you're so hungry at that point on your trip. But then I engorge myself on this stuff and I just feel like crap afterwards. I'm like, oh, this is why I don't eat this stuff, because it doesn't make me feel good. But it's 2:45 and it looks like I'm supposed to get there at 7:30. My arrival time kept getting pushed back because I had to stop and get gas and get lunch and whatever. So doing all right, but all these states are so ugly. Like, I think I was first vlogging when I was in Jersey, and then I went into Delaware, which was ugly, and then into Maryland, which I've heard is pretty, and I could see how it could be like in the spring or the summer, but in the winter I was just like, bleh. Like, the sky is just super cloudy and it feels really low, and it's like I kind of can't tell what's smoke and what's clouds, because there's so many towers like of the cities I've passed that are just like pumping out like smoke and debris from like plantations or like paper plants, I guess. So anyway, not a fan of some of these states thus far. So I'm in Virginia currently, like I said, and I'm very excited because the next stop is North Carolina. But Wilmington is like, if you know where that is, it's like very south. North Carolina, like, it's super, super close, I think, to South Carolina. So it's gonna be a bit of a stretch, but doing all right, trying to keep myself awake. Well, normally I try to keep my ranting to myself, because who needs that in their life? But I just got off the phone with my friend Kaylin, the one who lives in Virginia, and she was like, welcome to the capital of traffic for like the whole country. Apparently I am in what's called the DMV, which makes sense. It's the Delaware, Virginia, Maryland area, and because DC is so expensive, everyone lives in Northern Virginia and commutes into DC, and people are literally flying. Like, I am going 80 miles an hour and people are so impatient, like shooting past me at 95, and I'm like, can you not? Like, I actually am like cracking up at how insane people are. I'm just like, you live here? And she doesn't live here anymore. She lives in California, which also sucks for different reasons. But anyway, I'm just like, I'm like about to throw hands over here, going 80, and I'm like, there are cops. Like, I've seen so many people get pulled over, and I'm like, the speed limit is 65. So I just like, okay, Queens, I'm already going 20 over. What more could you possibly want from me? And then they go 30 over, just like absolutely mind-blowing. Like, I'm shook right now. But I think I'm hitting my delusional point in the drive because I have a really bad headache. But guess who's prepared? Me. I'm down to my last 2 Tylenol. I think this should be adequate. Advil. I gotta call Allison because she's a nurse and be like, Tylenol's still good for headaches, right? I know it is, but I feel like I feel like Advil's like better or more specific for it. Anyway, I'm going crazy and I'm gonna say goodbye. Next shot, I'll be at the beach, hopefully. I'm nearing the end of my road trip, but I almost forgot some of the most important parts of a road trip are the snacks. And my crackers are all from Trader Joe's. I have like these like animal crackers. And then I have 2 types of the sandwich cookies. I have the cheese kind and the peanut butter kind that just like look like that. So I have 2 different containers worth of those. And then I have an apple and a banana, which I can't show you the bananas because they're in the bag, but I just have like gala apples like this. And I remember reading somewhere that like 1 apple has more caffeine in it naturally than like a cup of coffee. I don't know if that's true, and I feel like that sounds false, but anyway, it did good for me this morning when I was like needing to wake up. And I'm also bringing an orange and some avocados, but that obviously I can't eat while on the road. I just like bought that stuff at Trader Joe's the other day and I don't want it to go bad during the week that I'm gone. So yeah, you can kind of see me. I made it. I'm so happy. I was just jamming to my rap playlist, which is pretty fire if I say so myself. And the person in front of me had a license plate that said Elmo on it. So I'm doing a lot better and I will catch up with you tomorrow, Saturday.